This episode of Ham Talk Live is brought to you by Tower Electronics. For connectors, cables, and more, call 920-435-2973 or visit pl-259.com. And by ICOM. Heard it, worked it, logged it. Visit www.icomamerica.com/amateur for more information about ICOM radios.
It's Ham Radio.
Hello, everyone. It's time for Ham Talk Live. It's episode number 316, Hamvention Preview 2023, recorded on April 17th, 2023. I'm your host, Neil Rapp, WB9VPG. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Ham Talk Live. Tonight, we're joined by Michael Kalter, W8CI, from the Dayton Hamvention. Last episode, Glenn Norman, W4YES, and Terry Beard, KO4WFP, were here to talk about CW with CICR. So if you missed that show, you can listen anytime at hamtalklive.com or on your favorite podcast app or on YouTube. So make sure you check that out. And, we're talking with Michael Kalter tonight about Hamvention, and speaking of Hamvention, let me remind you that the National Voice of America Museum of Broadcasting will have their usual extended hours once again during Hamvention. On Thursday and Friday, the hours will be 1 to 9 p.m., and then on Saturday of Hamvention, they'll be open from noon until 9, and then Sunday, noon to 5. So if you want to go after Hamvention on Friday or Saturday, they're open until 9 o'clock. If you get there early or you leave a little late, stop by. It's something that is well worth your time. And if you need a list to remind you of the times, just go to wch voa.org/Hamvention. And they'll have all the times listed there. They've got the Drake exhibit. If you're a Drake fan, they've got a whole collection of the Drake stuff from the R.L. Drake factory. The restored WLWO transmitter. So that was the overseas transmitter, the shortwave. And then all the other exhibits will be open as well and you can make a few cues at the Ham Shack. So admission is $10 at the door, and be sure to check that out. And they've got the new venue open as well, so that's pretty cool. Now, as far as Hamvention goes for us, Ham Talk Live will have a live broadcast on Hamvention Eve, as we always do. With weather, traffic, the latest news from Dayton. So all the last minute stuff, we'll have it for you right here on Ham Talk Live. We also hope to have the new Greene County Sheriff to talk about traffic. Of course, we remember Gene Fisher was the KX8 GCS that became a silent key. But the new sheriff is also working with Hamvention quite a bit. So we'll hopefully be talking with him and others during Hamvention Eve, so make sure you tune in for that. Well, right now we have Michael on the line, so we'll get to that, and we'll come back and talk to him right after this word from Tower Electronics, right here on Ham Talk Live.
Jerry, what's up, man? I haven't seen you at Sunbucks in a while. I used to see you every morning getting coffee. What's up?
Well, I can't afford Sunbucks 5 days a week anymore. I had to spend my money on PL-259s. You know, those antenna projects I've been meaning to do. I had to do them before my HOA finds out I have antennas.
That's too bad, Jerry. I miss seeing you and catching up over coffee. You should get your PL259s from Tower Electronics. They have great stuff. Jerry, you're back. Oh, QRM Heterodyne Frappuccino. That's a good choice. How's it going? Did you get all those antennas up before the HOA police showed up?
Yeah, I got them all done. Thanks for telling me about Tower Electronics. Now I can have my coffee. I just saved a bunch of money on my PL259s by switching to Tower Electronics.
Don't get caught without PL259s. Visit Tower Electronics online at pl-259.com or at a Hamfest near you. Or give them a call at 920-435-2973. And be sure to pick up some power poles, adapters, and cables too.
And the Tower Electronics Hamfest schedule coming up May 6th, they're in Cedarburg, Wisconsin. May 7th, Sandwich, Illinois. Then they'll be at Hamvention, May 19th through 21st in Dayton, Ohio. But you can visit them anytime at pl-259.com.
All the information you need for your trip to Dayton. It's Hamvention Preview here on Ham Talk Live.
Hey, welcome back to Ham Talk Live. Tonight, Michael Kalter, WHCI, joins us on the Orlando Amateur Radio Club and Hamcation Zoom line. Michael is the official spokesperson of the Dayton Hamvention and resides in Xenia, Ohio. He's a past president of the Dayton Amateur Radio Association and the Hamvention General Chair back in 2011 and 12, and he's currently the treasurer and board member of DARA and finance chair for Hamvention, and this year is also co-chairing the awards and the forums for Hamvention, among other things, as if he didn't have enough to do. So, Michael, welcome to Ham Talk Live again.
Hey, Neil. I'm really happy to be here. Love your program. Love how organized it is and what you do for the ham radio community. I think we're all grateful.
Well, thank you. And we're very grateful for the job of all of those volunteers at Hamvention. And I know everybody's excited about this year. I know I've heard from a lot of people that are planning on attending this year that haven't been there for a few years with COVID kind of being behind us, or at least much less of a threat. But I know that there's one key volunteer that we're sad to say has become a silent key. So before we get started, Michael, could you say a few words about Ron Kramer?
Yeah, Ron Kramer. He was our current vice president on the DARA board. He's also a past general chairman and assistant chairman, and he works tirelessly. I mean, we have a core team. He was on the executive committee with us for Hamvention, and boy, what a wonderful man, a wonderful human being, really. He was kind to everyone. He would listen to people's issues, and he'd work through them, and just a very well-respected guy. And it was sudden and stunning to lose him. He was at a meeting on a Friday night, and matter of fact, I had even talked to him after the meeting. We did a phone call because we were trying to figure out an issue that for Hamvention that we thought we ought to take care of. And he was going to call me back. And I thought, boy, this is funny. He hadn't called me back this morning. Well, he just dropped over, and they kept him alive, I think, for, I don't know, almost a week. But what a tragic loss. What a tragic loss. Thanks for asking, Neil.
Yeah, I know Ron did a lot of work with some of the contracts and things like that. And I know that's a big loss to the Hamvention community. So just wanted to have you say a few words? I know I just saw him at Hamvention not too much before that happened, and it was just very saddened and shocked to hear the news about Ron. But on a more upbeat note, I've heard that you've got quite a number of new exhibitors and some that have been absent for a while, but now feel like it's safe to return or are returning for a variety of reasons. So tell us how things are going over in the exhibits.
Well, it's funny, the exhibits, Inside Exhibits chairman was just over at my house last evening. We're taking care of some business. And, he was telling me that everything's nearly sold out at this point, which is pretty amazing. We are very excited about that. And we're urging everybody, if you're a vendor and you haven't signed up, I think there are a few spots, but not many at this point. But that's going really, really well. And I will say that one of the great things that is happening at Hamvention is when the vendors come, it's not just a few tables that they set up, really beautiful exhibits and useful, and they think these things through in terms of placement and the people that they're going to use, and very professional. I really admire what's happening there with Inside Exhibits. But yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah, we're working on our area over in the Yoda booth, getting that ready to go, and Eris will be next door to us again, and get some small forums going on. We'll talk about the Hamvention official forums here after the break, but just trying to get everything ready to go, and we're going to have our youth social hours again, so we'll talk about that. But I know you've got something else new that's going on with some area restaurants. So, and that kind of ties into the busing. So fill us in on this new idea.
Well, I know you, there are certain foods that you like to get, and sometimes we don't have it.
Oh, here we go again.
Well, you mention it to me every time I see you, so I thought I'd bring it up first.
Yeah.
At any rate, we're going to make it easier for people to get, if they don't want to eat, the great food that we're going to have there. And believe me, we have, if you're out in the center area there at Hamvention, near the flagpoles, and you'll smell that wonderful aroma, it really kicks in at about, 10:45, 11 a.m. And it just makes, you just want something great to eat, and you're cooking it right in front of you, and it is really amazing. Everything, we've got everything there from homemade noodles, homemade ice cream, the cattle producers, pork producers. We've also put a cap on the price of a bottle of water. We don't want people gouged $5 or $6 for a bottle of water, especially if it gets warm out. But to the point, we're going to have bus service that goes into downtown Xenia, and they'll be stopping at various restaurants within Xenia. So you may want to take a look at what's happening with that one. There's some information on the website. We plan to even increase that information. But you'll be able to take a bus, go get something to eat downtown Xenia, then get the bus back. So we thought we'd give that a try. The people of the city of Xenia have been so helpful to us, and they have to put up with the fact that we bring in 32,000 people, and the population of the city of Xenia is only about 26,000. So, they want to show off a little bit too on how well they can prepare food and how well they take care of that beautiful little city.
Well, yeah, we're always talking about the cheesecake on a stick because it goes way back to Hera Arena and everything. But I got a message the other day actually from one of my Newsline colleagues that was talking about key lime pie on a stick. And so, we said, well, maybe that's the Hamcation thing, being in Florida and everything, down near the Keys. And they were like, no. Hamvention needs both. So I don't know. We've got several cheesecake on a stick vendors now. So maybe we'll have to expand. But yes,
just put in your request. Put in your request, and we'll find the truck.
Well, there's always plenty of good food trucks there at Hamvention. If I only had a way to get more time to visit more variety, shall we say? I usually end up with whichever one is the shortest line, but they're all fabulous, and so it'll be great to have those again, as well as the bus option. So that's some cool stuff. All right. Well, before we take a break here, Michael, I know that volunteers are the heart of Hamvention, and you couldn't have it without them. So I know you love to talk about your volunteers, so please do.
Well, thank you. I do. I'm just a spokesperson and a volunteer as well. And it's a joint effort running Hamvention. It's a labor of love. I was thinking about this the other day, is the fact that, the ARRL, they consider themselves headquarters. But we've heard it said that Hamvention is sort of the Mecca of amateur radio. It's where everybody comes to meet. It's where, there's so much that goes on there, and it wouldn't happen really without volunteers. You got our volunteers that are working there. You got volunteers from other organizations that come in, and they have activities throughout the evening all over the area. And if you're one of those people that's having an evening activity, just let us know. We'll make sure we get it on the website, and so people can see that. And I want to say hello to especially my friends Hazel and Jeff Everett that do. I mean, they've been long-time volunteers, and I'd like to name everybody, but I'm just going to pick them right now because they help kind of prod everybody along to make sure that they're done on time and do it in such a wonderful way, and always trying to thinking of things. Anyway, speaking of volunteers, we are still in need of a few more volunteers, and even golf carts was needing some volunteers. So you can go to our website, hamvention.org, and look up volunteers and fill out a form and put in an application. And there are some benefits that go along with that, and that's all on the website. But I'm glad you asked about the volunteers. They're just so many of them do so much work, and I don't know how to thank all of them, but we try. Back to you, Neil.
Yeah, you need those golf cart drivers because they do a lot of running, and so that's always something that I know that some of my friends do that are, they're driving in 4, 5, 6 hours to get there, and they're going to volunteer an afternoon to drive the golf carts around, and it's kind of fun. So that's good that you have some benefits for them as well. So yeah, make sure you check that out, hamvention.org under the volunteers. And we're working for Youth on the Air. We're going to have some time there, but we're hosting a youth social hour on Friday and Saturday again. It went really well last year, so we're bringing it back again. So at noon on both Friday and Saturday, the young people can stop by the area behind the Yoda booth there, and we've got free snacks and drinks for them. And it's just a chance to get to meet other young hams that maybe they've heard or you've heard and talked to on the air, and it's a chance to meet up. And I know we've had a lot of the Yoda Camp alumni now meet there and kind of catch up with everybody, and just kind of gives you a place to hang out and and get a little food and drink as well. And I know Tony sent me the information on the collegiate dinner that's coming up. So that's on Saturday evening, I believe it is. So those things will be popping up on the website. So make sure you take a look at that website, and they'll have all those listed there. And we've got a little thing for the youth program. All the things that are going on at Hamvention specifically for youth. We'll have that hanging up in the Yoda booth there. So, we're going to talk forums and we're going to talk awards, but first we're going to take this break and we'll come back with Michael Kalter, WHCI, right after this word from ICOM America, right here on Ham Talk Live. Got cabin fever? Look no further. Spring is in the air and ICOM has just what you're looking for. ICOM has top quality base stations, mobiles, and handhelds that are perfect for working your favorite bands inside the ham shack or venturing out. Want to catch a sneak peek of the ICOM IC905 SHF release? Well, from May 19th through May 21st, you can find ICOM at booth 2608 in Building 2 at this year's Dayton Hamvention in Xenia, Ohio. ICOM hopes to see you there. ICOM's newest amateur FM transceiver is the IC-V3500, and it's ready to hit the road whenever you are. With a compact body and simple interface, this radio is a must for those looking for a long-range mobile with a fresh look. Go farther away and get louder audio with the IC-V3500 mobile. Simple operation with a modern white display, instant volume loud and mute functions, emergency call and alarm functions, and 4.5 watts of loud and clear audio. And with an IP67 waterproof rating, the ICT10 can withstand any field activities ahead. Hear any transmission and listen to FM broadcasts with the loud 1500 milliwatt speaker. The ICT10 is an excellent choice for any bug-out bag. This rugged portable meets or exceeds standard military testing. It has 5 watts output power on 2 meters and 70 centimeters, 11 hours of operating time, 16 DTMF auto dial memories, NOAA weather alerts, and built-in CTCSS DTCS. And of course, the rig that changed the way entry-level HF is designed, the IC7300, the portable HF rig with base station features, the IC705, the ID5100 advanced dual-band mobile, the powerful ID52A dual-band HT with waterfall display and D-Star, and more are all available from ICOM America. Visit ICOMAmerica.com/amateur for more information on ICOM radios.
Let's have an eyeball QSO in Dayton. You're listening to Ham Talk Live.
And welcome back to Ham Talk Live. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We'll be sending out some more stuff here as we get closer to Hamvention, I'm sure. But right now, before we get back to Michael, it's time for the Ham Talk Live Joke of the Week.
Now it's time for the Ham Talk Live Ham Radio Joke of the Week, a part of the show where Rick tells us a ham radio joke. The Ham Talk Live Ham Radio Joke of the Week is brought to you by QRM Labs. Now, here's Rick Garrett in 9GSU with today's Ham Talk Live Joke of the Week.
My homeowners association was trying to make me take my antennas down, so I hired a lawyer. I went to his office and said, "How much do you charge?" He said, $5,000 for 3 questions. I said, "Isn't that a lot?" He said, "Yes, it is. Now, what's your third question?"
This has been the Ham Talk Live Ham Radio Joke of the Week with Rick Garrett in 9GSU. Tune in again next week for another joke from Rick.
We are back with Michael Kalter, WHCI, the spokesperson of the Dayton Hamvention. And we're going to talk about forums and awards here in a minute. But first, we've got a few other things that everybody needs to keep in mind. So Sunday is free.
That's
Tell
right.
them how to get in for free.
Well, excuse me, we do that for a couple of reasons, but more importantly, there's a lot of people in our area, maybe within a couple 100 miles of Hamvention, that are really curious, what's this all about? And Hamvention is open 9 to 1. And then, of course, at 1 o'clock we have the prize drawing. But there's no age limits on coming in on Sunday with in getting a free ticket. Just go to the ticket booth and we'll give you the free pass to get in. You will not be eligible for a main prize, but if you know some people and you want them to come meet you and walk around a little bit with them, or if you want to bring your just bring kids. Well, kids are free anyway, but you can bring whoever you want, and they'll get in free. And what a great way to introduce people to amateur radio. Although that's it's like drinking out of a fire hydrant. But there
yes,
it is. We're excited about it.
Yeah, so you're drinking straight out of the hydrant on that one, but that's a good thing. I always remember a friend of mine saying that, that was his first Hamfest, and it's like, then you go to the other ones and it's like, wait a minute, this isn't like Dayton. So we're lucky to have it in our backyard here, more or less. Let's talk a little bit about buses too. I know you've got some of the remote parking still going on, so let's talk a little bit about buses.
Right. I want to be sure that people are looking at the website. It's constantly being updated, and that's hamvention.org. So we are getting the bus routes kind of set, and it will be. I haven't looked the last few days if they're actually on the website yet or not, but they will be. And also, while I'm talking about that website and buses, be sure to download the app. We're going to have the events app, and you'll see it on the web page how to download that app. But it'll tell you when the forums are. It'll have all kinds of information that you can link to. And I would strongly urge, before you come to Hamvention, because there's so much to do and it's so big, that you plan it out a little bit. Like, I want to see this forum, I want to see that forum, I want to see this vendor, I want to see that vendor, and they should have the locations will be in there of the vendors, or we're going to try to get evening activities in there, and a lot of things, bus schedules. So be sure to download that app, because we're going to try to have it jam-packed with good information, as well as the website. So I wanted to get that information out to you as well.
And there's still a few hotel rooms around, so tell people how they can find those.
Yep, that's exactly right, Neil. We have, I was talking with the Convention Visitors Bureau just a couple of days ago, and they said that, there's some people that can't make it, and they canceled their rooms, and that frees some rooms up. So they will have that information. You can get on our website, of course, and then link right into all that information. But the Convention and Visitors Bureau, they even come to our planning meetings. It's really, really a great group there to help us out in Greene County, and to make sure that we have everything that we need. Actually, I think when I mention people in Greene County, I want to mention the different outlying cities and communities, including Xenia, and the elected officials and other officials within Greene County, and even over into Montgomery County, that are always putting out a helping hand to make sure that Hamvention continues to be a success.
Okay, so check that out. The Convention and Visitors Bureau and Ham Talk Live will be live on Thursday night. We'll get you ready for everything. So if there's any last minute announcements that come across the website or weather and traffic and all that kind of thing, as we do each year. We'll get you ready on Thursday night for that. But of course, the hamvention.org is the official word. So make sure you check out both of those. Well, Dayton always has quite the list of top-notch forums, and this is something that you were added to a little more this year, that forums task. And so let's talk about the forums and some of those that'll be taking place this year.
Yeah, they are all posted now on the website, and I will tell you, there's a lot of tough decisions. We get a lot of requests from people, to do forums, and we have some really exciting ones going on. I know we'll start off with we'll have Parks on the Air. We're going to have Tapper in there. We're going to have, what is this Newsline thing that you're part of that, aren't you?
Yes. So Amateur Radio Newsline used to have this thing called the Town Hall, where we'd bring in elected officials or some expert on something and do kind of a question and answer kind of thing. And we've been wanting to bring that back. And so this year we're bringing it back. So Paul Brown, WD9GCO, will be moderating that, and I'll be helping him out a little bit with the moderating of the audience questions. But we've got 3 good topics. Riley Hollingsworth is no stranger to the town hall. He did a lot of those back when he was at the FCC. He's going to be talking about the volunteer monitor program that ARRL has, and he'll take questions on that. Mark Smith from Halibut Electronics is going to be talking about an open standard for headsets, the headset interface, to kind of standardize that for MCOM and that kind of thing. So he'll be talking about that. And then we also have Rod Stafford, Vice President of International Affairs of ARRL, be talking about some international stuff and taking questions on that. So I'll be a part of that one, but there's a long list here. So go right ahead, Michael.
Well, I'm not going to read every one, but you're in another one too with Carol Perry, and I don't know. Let's see, you're going to have to get. She has an instructors forum, and then it seems like get done with that. You're really going to have to hightail it down to make
I am
yours.
Yeah, as soon as I leave the instructors forum, I'll be headed straight over to the town hall. But in the instructors forum, I'll be talking about Yoda and some of the resources that instructors can use. So that'll be fun.
Well, and also in looking at forums, we've got one on high altitude balloons in amateur radio. We've got kit building with Joe Eisenberg. We have, I'll tell you, a really great one is going to be with Brandon Peliquin. He's our National Weather Service, one of the chief forecasters down there. And that's near and dear to my heart because I am a net control operator at the National Weather Service from Wilmington, Ohio, and we cover south half of Ohio, northern Kentucky, and eastern Indiana. And they are absolutely dedicated to amateur radio and the communications that amateur radio provides. So that he always puts on a great forum. And then we have in keeping with our theme this year, we have an innovation forum, and that's going to happen on Friday. And of course, Tim Duffy, K3LR, will have the antenna forum, which is a pretty big deal and lots of great information. And we'll have John Stratton is going to be, he's from ARRL. ARRL, by the way, has got a lot of forums that they're going to have as well. And I just want to, ask everybody to take a look at some of these great forums. We've got the DX forum that's going to be on Saturday. well, let's see, when does that start? Right at the late Saturday morning, 11:30 till almost 1:50 p.m. And Jay Slough, K4ZLE, he is going to have a great DX forum, and he's going to have some real surprise guests there from some of the big DX expeditions that have just gone on. But please take a look at all the different things that are going on at the forums. You know, I can't even read them all. There's so many. I don't want to take that much time doing it, but we hit on, I know what Neil thinks is probably the most important too.
Oh no. But there are a bunch, and there's the youth forum and collegiate forum and just all kinds of stuff. So yeah, check it out at the website. And I think I could spend all day in the forums and never see anything else.
Neil, let me mention one thing about forums is that I think, from what I've read in the history and the lore of Hamvention, that is what initially made Dayton so big, was the fact that they started off at the Biltmore with very interesting forums where people could come in and learn something new. And that is still going on. And to me, forums is one of the most important things at any kind of a ham fest. I mean, it's great there are so many good aspects, but that is really a wonderful aspect. Sometimes I wish Hamvention was longer so that I could get through everything. But
exactly.
And when I was a little younger, that I can hike the whole thing, plus get everything I need to get done. So. But it is what it is. It's wonderful to be an event where where you're almost not going to be able to walk through everything. I don't know how there's time. Some people do it. Kudos to them.
Yeah. Kudos to them, because I've never been able to do it. I'll tell you that. And like I said, I could sit in the forums all day long. I think and always have one that I'm interested in. So that's a great list. So check it out at hamvention.org or on the app. So last thing we're going to talk about today, and we'll be talking about more Dayton stuff as the weeks go on. We'll be talking about different forums in depth and some of the things that are going to be happening. And like I said, Ham Talk Live will be live the night before. But the last thing on our agenda for today are the award winners. But before we talk about the Hamvention Award winners, we want to talk about a very special award for your general chairman.
Yep. Yeah, Jim Storms, AB8YK. And Jim's been doing an awful lot with youth for many, many years. And he was given this award for several different things he was involved with. And you might want to talk a little bit about this, too, because I believe you were also down in Orlando to watch him receive this award.
I was. So Jim was the recipient of the Carroll Perry Educator of the Year award this year, and very well deserved for a variety of reasons. And I'm still trying to figure out how he does all this stuff and is the general chairman this year.
Yeah, he's he's busy as well, and there's and of course that's his passion. Has been working with youth, and this is his first year as general chairman. We only allow a person to be a general chairman for 2 years, and there's different reasons for that. But that's our tradition, and we pretty much go with that. And but I just want to say Jim is worked so hard with. I think he's been a leader in different jamborees for radio licensing and things like that. He's been a partner in the founding of the Dave Kalter DX Youth DXpedition, the Dave Kalter Youth DXpedition, and they go to generally Central America for that. And that I know that he has the same last name as me, and now he's my little brother, and I miss him. And he's left a legacy in radio. But he's been he was one of the co-founders with us, a few other people in that particular organization as well. Anyway, just kudos to Jim. If you see him, give him some kudos.
All right. Well, Hamvention is recognizing some award winners, so let's hear about those.
All right. Hamvention gives out four we consider pretty major awards for, and they're open internationally, and we do get international winners. It seems like every year there's somebody on the international scene that wins. But the first one I want to talk about is the Special Achievement Award, and that's this year's recipient is Dr. Jason McDonald, N2 Tango Papa Alpha. He's a real active amateur extra class operator. He began his life as an RF engineer, and then, can you believe this? He changed careers to become a trauma surgeon. So his radio interests range from operating to international disaster response, and his true passion is working with youth to promote amateur radio. Sounds familiar, Neil. You like to do that. But Dr. McDonald has been instrumental in promoting international friendship and community through amateur radio by forming scouting clubs in Canada, the Philippines, and Florida. And to date, more than 500 youth in these clubs have been licensed and are on the air. So we are proud to see him win this award, the Special Achievement Award. So let's move on to the Amateur Radio Club of the Year. And, being a member of the Dayton Amateur Radio Association and a few other clubs in the region, I really respect what gets done in an amateur radio club. I know we have a lot of individual achievement awards, but a lot of these individual achievement awards can't really happen without some kind of an impetus or motivation from a radio club. But the winner this year is the Delaware Radio Association. And they've been around since 1930, and they serve the Trenton, New Jersey metropolitan area. A couple things about this club. They tripled in size over the last 6 years due to the wide range of amateur radio activities and events they offer. They consider themselves, and it appears to all of us, they are an all-purpose club. And they do everything from public service events to operator training, mentoring, scouting events, informational monthly meetings, boat events, and the operation of a world-class club station. Really pleased to see this club win the Delaware Valley Radio Association. They, from the pictures they sent along, just an outstanding club. And one thing aside, I will mention that I will tell you that, as I mentioned before, that clubs are near and dear to my heart. And then, I don't know, several years ago, I started the Club of the Year award at DARA. So I'm always happy to see these great clubs and people trying to figure out how they can win that award.
And I believe you have some a forum on that too.
Oh, yeah, yes, I do. Well, it isn't really my forum. It is our Ohio section manager, and Tom Sly, really wonderful guy. And, he's a guy that works hard, and one of the things that he does, he's always highlighting clubs throughout the state of Ohio and passing on great information. And he has a lot of information about that, and I'm going to kind of stand by in that for him to help him a little bit, because I've got a little bit of experience with clubs myself.
Well,
but not as good as Tom, I don't think.
And then we've got the Technical Achievement Award.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Dr. James Breakall, WA3FET. What an amazing guy. He's a retired professor emeritus from, where did he go? At Penn State University. and he's been involved in advancements in using antennas. He also did a lot of work on the numerical electromagnetic code, better known as the NEC. Now, being retired, he serves as a consultant to the Army, Air Force, and Navy on many antenna-related projects. I'm not going to give you all his information, but I will tell you that, he's worked with Joe Taylor and K1JT, Angel, WP3R, and Pedro Pizza, NP4A, and they collaborated on how to use Arecibo's 1,000-foot dish to do a moon bounce. He's also been a frequent presenter at Hamvention, and he'll be in some forums there. So be sure to check those out. I believe he'll be in Tim Duffy's forum on antennas. Another amazing thing that this just really gets me is the fact that there is an antenna test range named after him, and he sent in a picture of himself next to the sign, and it's called the James K. Breakall Antenna Test Range. It's just an amazing fella, and really, really deserves this award. I know not a lot of people know of him, and he continues to be an excellent source for antenna information.
Well, our final one is the Amateur of the Year. So that's one of the big ones. So tell us about that one.
Yeah, it is. But they're all big ones. None of these awards are easy to get. It takes them, when we judge these things, and there's just a few of us who judge them, and we look for what delivers the most to ham radio. It's not having the biggest antenna in your neighborhood, and it's not making the most contacts of anybody. It's what do you contribute to the greater good of amateur radio that would really help a lot of people. Well, the Amateur of the Year award for this year goes to Karsten Dower, Delta Mike 9 Echo Echo. And he's been active in amateur radio, European amateur radio, through WRTC and Yoda for 30 years. So I don't know if you know him or not, but he's another one of your guys out there working on it. But recently, he spearheaded a group called the DM9 Echo Echo Helping Hands. It's a movement to provide amateur radio equipment to war-torn Ukraine by collecting donations and delivering them personally throughout to the communities in Ukraine. He sent, tons of equipment, being radios, power banks, solar packs, first aid to Ukraine. And you can imagine the time going into plan that, pack all that stuff, the documentation, accessing permits, and just so much that happens. But that's not all. When he comes back, he oftentimes brings back war refugees to havens in Germany, including his own family's hotel. He helps these people find work. He has a really nice station there. He helps make sure they can get on the air. But more importantly, he's trying to give back to the great hobby. He says that the world is very small when you have a radio license. You talk to the world, and eventually you also visit people in other countries. And you always learn more about culture when you know people there. Ham radio is great to learn languages, even if it's only a few friendly phrases. So I've talked to Carson, and he's going to have a forum there as well to talk about all these things. And maybe sort of reluctantly. He's a really fantastic photographer. And but I urge you to take a look at his forum and to meet him when he's there. I mean, what a great way to give back to amateur radio. I mean, to me, that's a very high level. He's helping lots of people. He's setting a great example. And I don't know. To me, I guess, sort of maybe I have a little bit of a bias because I'm a former Peace Corps volunteer.
Well, quite a story. So, Karsten, congratulations, and look forward to seeing all of the award winners and hearing about all the award winners at Hamvention 2023, May 18th, 19th, 20th, correct? 19, 20, 21. Those are my days. Because I come in on the 8th. Actually, I come in on the 17th. I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, 19th, 20th, and 21st, hamvention.org has this information and a whole lot more. And Michael, thanks for coming on the show and talking about it once again. And I'm sure we'll check in again right before Hamvention starts and check in for any last minute updates. But thanks for taking the time to tell us what's going on.
Oh, thank you, Neil. It's been really a pleasure. Always a pleasure to get to meet up with you and talk with you. And, I know you have an extremely busy schedule and all the things you're trying to do and important things you're doing to support amateur radio. I know you've got Yoda activities going on. You've got the Newsline activities going on. You've got God knows what else you got going on. I know you're busy. I see your name popping up, and I know everybody appreciates your contributions as well. So with that, I wish you a very good 7-3, and I look forward to our next time, Neil.
All right. I look forward to it, and look forward to seeing you in person once again here in about a month. So that is a wrap for this edition of Ham Talk Live. I'd like to thank my guest, Michael Kalter, W8CI, from the Dayton Hamvention, and everybody out there in cyberspace for listening, and invite you back next time for a list of all of our upcoming guests. Go to hamtalklive.com. So for now, this is Neil Rapp, WB9VPG, saying 7375, and may the good DX be yours.
For 73. To you and your family, I'll be seeing you further down the log. Your 73s, to you and your family, I'll be seeing you further down the log.